Hello, we're speaking today with Matt Archbold, a spokesperson for the Cardinal Newman Society, a watchdog group based in Washington, D.C. area. We're going to talk to him today about a controversy at St. Louis University, a Catholic institution that was founded by the Jesuit order of priests. Recently, the chancellor of the law school, Professor Annette Clark, resigned, and since then, the university has named Tom Keefe, also a faculty member and a lawyer in the St. Louis area, to replace her on an interim basis until the university can find a permanent replacement. As the Cardinal Newman Society has pointed out, this attorney Keefe was involved in what has been termed a wrongful life case, in which he argued that a physician should have found a birth defect in a fetus in utero that was nevertheless born. Apparently, the woman involved would have aborted the child had she known about this. The case was thrown out. This is a Catholic institution, and so we have a prospect of a law school dean who was defending a woman's wish to have an abortion. Matt, can you tell us, has there been any movement on this on the part of the university since earlier this week?
The story just hit, and it's really starting to take off now. When I first learned of this, I contacted the school as well as Mr. Keefe, but neither of them ever got back to me. So I'm assuming that they have gone dark and silent on this story, at least for now. But one of the things we try to do is we try to let as many people know about this as possible, and that way parents, when they're making their decisions about where am I going to send my child to school or law school, they can look up and take this into account, and I hope that's what they do.
Now, I understand that it was some weeks before Professor Clark's resignation that Mr. Keefe was contacted by the leadership of the university. So was this a foregone conclusion that he would replace her?
It seems to be that in other news reports, Mr. Keefe did respond to them, but not to us, like I said. But he has stated that he was contacted weeks in advance, which is somewhat odd in that Annette Clark hadn't been told that she was being fired. She resigned weeks later. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes, I think. But one of the reasons I mention that is because I think people might think, oh, she resigned at the beginning of the school year. Maybe they panicked and just grabbed someone without doing due diligence, whereas, in fact, this was going on regardless.
Now, I understand that the president of the university, who is a Jesuit priest, wrote warmly about Mr. Keefe in his letter announcing the change to the university. Can you speak to that?
Well, it seems that Mr. Keefe has a long record with St. Louis University Law School. He went there, and a number of family went there as well. And but on top of that, Mr. Keefe has given substantial amounts of money to the law school. I believe there's one endowed professorship by him, and then other donations. And this was all mentioned in the press release from the university as one of the reasons, as a testimony to why he is a good fit for St. Louis University.
Now, I understand from some of the press reports and the press releases from the university that former Dean Clark had made some accusations about misappropriation of funds that were to go to the law school, but instead were directed to the General University Fund. Is this an issue that would reach the courts?
It doesn't seem to be at this point. Right now, it seems that the school is allowed to do with the funds, but it seemed to be a matter of communication, and that while Annette Clark was operating as the dean of the law school under the belief that she had access to these funds, they were being removed, and she claims that she didn't know that they were being removed, and there were some faculty stipends that were allegedly promised, and they were taken away as well. So it seems to be more of an internal matter amongst them.
Now, I understand she remains as a tenured professor at the law school. What is her I guess her situation as to the president of the university now?
Yeah, that'll make for some awkward elevator rides, I'd imagine, as she's on her way to class. But she insists that she remains a professor there, and that she is perfectly within her rights to stay there. And I haven't read anything to the contrary, and I've read pretty much everything out there on this topic.
Now, I understand your organization has written a kind of guide to Catholic education in the United States. How did St. Louis University rank in your view?
Well, the Newman Guide to Choosing a Catholic College, we essentially promote faithful Orthodox Catholic colleges. So St. Louis was not included. That's all we'll say.
Okay. Is there any? Can you tell us why? What were some of the reasons why it was not included? It's a traditional Catholic prestigious institution, is it not?
Where we did a report concerning schools that had links to Planned Parenthood, Catholic schools that had links to Planned Parenthood. There was a law professor who actually was a Planned Parenthood board member for quite a long time. It's things like that are worrisome. And I know years ago, I think in 2007, I believe it was, St. Louis University, in order to get a grant, actually argued in court that they were a secular institution in order to get the grant. So I think at some point people should start taking them at their word.
Now, I noticed that Mr. Keefe is a donor to something called the Women's Crisis Center. Is that an abortion provider?
No, it's not. It's it's not at all. It's a prevention of violence against women.
I see. Well, thanks very much, Matt. We appreciate it. This is something we'll continue to focus on in the coming weeks.
I really appreciate your time. Thanks for having me.
You're quite welcome. This is Martin Barrias reporting for Sparrow News.